you still need to do things to protect yourself. Google shouldn't have to delete your location data because your location data shouldn't be in Google when you're doing things where you don't want your location data to ultimately potentially be subpoenaed. That is how you have to start thinking about things. It's like the location data can never be there in the first place. You need to do everything you can do to keep your data out. And what I really liked about this, it wasn't just about, one thing. It was about, I don't want my location data if I'm going to maybe get like gastric bypass. I don't want my location out there if I'm going to get maybe plastic surgery,
if I'm going to a domestic violence shelter. That should have been the default from the beginning with with domestic violence shelters. Like,
absolutely with that, you do not want that information out there because it can be used if you're being stalked like that, and we know that women and men, to a lesser extent, this stuff happens. I'm just trying to be politically correct.
Let's just keep it 100.
Women,
on the flip
women
side,
are getting tracked and low jacked and this and that and the other.
But I say that, but I read a story. I don't know if we even talked about it on the show, but a couple weeks ago, a woman confronted her boyfriend in a bar and had an altercation because, of course, he was in the bar with his side piece. The bar kicks them, all three of them, out. They continue to argue in the parking lot or on the street. The girlfriend gets in the car, runs the boyfriend over multiple times.
I read that headline, yeah.
And the reason how this all started was because she low jacked him, quote unquote, with the AirPod, with the AirTag. So I say women get tracked and I say women get jumped.
It's everybody.
But it's everybody if I'm keeping it on.
It's everybody, unfortunately.
Yeah, you got to be careful with those AirTags because I believe, and Terrance, you may be able to talk better than this than I can, but I believe that there is a message that'll pop up on your phone if there is an AirTag that is near you consistently. It doesn't recognize. It'll pop up and let you know. It's like, hey, here's something here.
Yeah. I had a social media friend of mine who over the past week, she was traveling internationally, and she got that notification to where something is unauthorized. I forget the actual term of how it goes, but her phone notified her that somebody had an AirPod in the area. She, of course, naturally flying overseas, international, freaked out. This is just based on her tweets. I haven't talked to her personally yet, but just based on her tweets, she tried to let somebody on the airlines know. They was kind of like, She tried to let the airport know where she was at, what was going on. They were kind of like, they held her up for a couple hours, but ultimately they couldn't do nothing. It took for her to get to her hotel, rummage through all of her stuff to finally find this AirTag. Then of course she don't know where it came from, but I guess the frustrating part for her was nobody was like, oh, this is the process.
There was no sense of urgency,
or they didn't have no official process. All right, if you find this, this is what you do, ABC, we're going to do X, Y, and Z, and we're going to keep you notified. It was kind of like, well, we don't know what to do, so deal with it.
And that's the problem. They don't. And the thing with Apple, like, I don't know, and you could probably answer this better, Terrance, like at one point, you had between like 4 and 24 hours before you would get notified at all that an AirTag, unauthorized AirTag was there. They've shortened that, but there's still a window. There's still a pretty significant window where somebody could be stalking you before you even get the notification.
Right. So, and that notification wasn't in the original. They had pushback and they were like, to make things better, we're going to add this notification. Yep. And then they said, okay, well, what about people who have Androids? And they get all right, so we'll add something for Android.
They added an app for them.
The fact that Apple added an app for Android lets you know that this is a pretty big deal. And you're seeing it, all the time. And like you said, this airport didn't pay attention or didn't really react necessarily in the way they should have reacted. Unfortunately, it's going to take something happening to someone who said something to the airport. It's going to take something happening to someone who said something to authorities. And then after the facts, I even told y'all that this was happening, that I was, somebody is stalking me. You didn't do anything. You sent me on my merry way. And then this happened. So what's going, how does the world work? When that bajillion-dollar lawsuit comes, then of course it'll become a priority, for these organizations. And it's just the way that it is. You would hope that people would be a little bit more proactive about making sure people are safe with these tiny little things. Literally, somebody can just slip it in your pocket and you don't know what's there, and they're following you around.